Don't do this during the Venus retrograde happening from March 1st all the way to April 12th, okay? There's certain things that are do's and there's certain things that are don't. Venus retrograde is all about that energy of the planet Venus and everything it represents, which is love, beauty, finances, lifestyle, money, pleasure, worth and value, okay? Retrograde is like going backwards in a sense, taking a pause in a sense, slowing down in a sense, and to have you review your life decisions, okay? And the patterns that are happening in your life. So it's actually a very conscious and spiritual time for you to put under the microscope of what's working and what's not working in those areas above. Now, I want to tell you and share with you the things that you might not, okay, want to do. You might want to think twice about doing when it comes to this. First of all, let's address the first thing first. Love, right? Venus, we know it rules love and romance. This is really not the time to be rushing into a relationship. It's not the time to be like, oh, let's put myself on the market and begin to date heavily. Why? Is because this is a review period. Naturally, you're going to feel more kind of like reserved. Naturally, other people can be, dealing with all of these things that you're feeling. So they're processing their breakup, they're processing their pattern, they're processing why their relationships don't work. So there could be a lot of processing for like you and the people you meet. So sometimes, things are just not really aligned. And at the same time, this is the time where you don't want to be aimlessly falling headfirst and going at a connection that is just so fresh and you're not thinking about what the implications are for you and your desires. And what I mean by that is that sometimes we get disappointed in love because we go into it with like this rose-colored glasses and we get blinded by the six-pack and the muscles and the voluptuous body or whatever you're into, okay? And then we don't really see the red flag. You see the red flag and you just wipe it. You're just like, oh, look at those sexy eyes. That you don't see them. Okay, but they're there. Venus retrograde, my people, is about seeing the red flags and knowing why do you keep ignoring the red flags in all your relationship. What is it about you? What is it that you feel really like needy about, right? What is it that you are desperate about, honestly, to be honest, right? Like sometimes we're too like thirst, okay, when it comes to love, when it comes to romance, because we want that partner, okay? Who doesn't? I get it, okay? I get it. But it's like, what do you want, honey? Get clear on what you want. I made a separate video on understanding Venus retrograde and how it affects you and what to do. So make sure you watch it. I'll link it down below. Watch that one, okay? So I don't want you to like get blinded by love during this Venus retrograde because your judgments are very questionable during this time, okay? Think big later. Just slow it down, okay? After March the 12th, April the 12th, okay, let's open up. Okay, the love business. Now it just take note, okay? Take note, pause, okay? Okay, next we have to talk about relationship and connections, maybe outside of love. That can mean in business, in friendship, in collaborating, I don't know, whatever it is, right? Make sure you feel like your values are aligned before really saying, I'm going to sign this deal with you, right? If you are a creator, if you work with a brand, if you work with, I don't know, a sponsor, I don't know what line of work you do, you let me know, okay? So I can make more content geared towards you. So, just really make sure that they are aligned in your values, right? In what you stand for before you make and establish some contract on this connection, right? This is not the time, okay? So just take caution, right? Take note, review and reflect. Next, when it comes to money and finances, Venus does rule the pleasure in life, okay? So what I want you to do or not do is to think about, okay, when it comes to money, is my money habit, is my spending habit aligned with my lifestyle? Is it aligned with what I want to create in my life? So for example, if you are someone right now who is like ready to buy a house, right? Buy a piece of land, invest in something. During Venus retrograde, there can be a lot of these like old habits coming up. Maybe your overly impulsiveness, or maybe you're not thinking clearly, or maybe there's something that kind of blurs your vision a little bit. So this is not the time to take those impulsive moves when it comes to big finances, when it comes to big splurge, when it comes to big investment, because your energy can be all over the place. Why? Because when it comes to retrograde, things come up, right? Things resurface, retrograde, resurface. So a lot of these things that want to clear, like old patterns, old beliefs, old way of thinking, old fears, old doubts can come up. And that can really trip you up, okay? So this is the time where hold on, okay, to the big investment. Of course, if something that you know that you planned for a long time, of course, don't let some Venus retrograde stop you from that. But when it comes to you just all of a sudden feeling the urge to do something big, crazy, drastic, this is when you want to hold your horses, right? So when it comes to beauty, when it comes to aesthetic, because Venus also rules beauty, aesthetics, luxury, stuff like that, really tapping into, do not do things on an impulse, right? If you have an appointment planned for a eyelash extension or a hair appointment, okay, great, fine, it's great, okay? But if you're like, on a Tuesday night, during Venus retrograde, I just feel like going for a bob and dye it blonde right now, and maybe put on some dreadlocks while I'm at it. This is the time where you might want to hold your horses, okay? So don't be so impulsive when it comes to change your entire look, because Venus in retrograde is not the time, okay? It's a time for you to review. It's time for you to make moves, okay, in a very stable, carefully thought out, feel out manner, so that you don't rush into things, okay? When it comes to things beautiful, things aesthetic, sometimes we're not thinking properly, okay? We're moving too fast. So this is when I want you to avoid any drastic decisions. I want you to avoid rushing into something. I want you to avoid feeling pressure to do something you don't want to do. Maybe some person is asking you out on a date and you're just like, I feel like it's too fast, it's too soon, or maybe your person is asking you to move in with him or her, and you're just like, I'm just not ready for this, right? Don't feel bad. Honor your feelings, right? Say, okay, let's revisit it in mid-April, because that's when, Mercury, what's it called? Venus retrograde is over. Also, we're going to have Mercury retrograde coming in as well, so stay tuned for the videos, okay? If you haven't hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button, like this video, because there's so much more coming for you. And also, for those of you who want to know how to manifest from your divine feminine energy, this is going to be the first time learning, okay? Retrogrades are good for reflection and learning. You want to learn how to manifest easily. If you want to know how to tap into your divine feminine power, to call in the aligned relationship, to call in the aligned income, the aligned lifestyle, I have a free masterclass down below for you called the Divine Feminine Manifestation Secrets Masterclass. Okay, so grab it down below, watch it, and really soak in the teaching that I'm sharing with you, because they're very powerful. I love you so much. This is Tina Wong, and I hope to see you around.